Hello, everyone. Russell Wright from NetworkEmpire.com, and I have a very special treat for you today. Some of you who are already Network Empire members probably recognize this. This is the socially activated one web ring perpetual downstream traffic system that we teach in live certification events with our certification students. And there is a lot that goes behind creating this amazingly powerful personal brand broadcasting network. Today, we're actually going to go over scratch. Today, we're actually going to go over the website visual blueprint, the website and blog builder visual blueprint. This has been something that's been many months in the making, and we have Sue Bell, who is our architect for a lot of the software applications that we have, all of them actually, Domain Web Studio, Kraken, the last keyword tool, to name only a few. All of these things are integrated in a very powerful and unique way that has been called the Harvard University of Online Business and Marketing Domination. And I would have to agree that it really is that. This particular video is going to be Sue Bell and myself going through this entire process, giving you an overview of the process of dominating a market using the technologies that we provide. It's available to our members. Really, really excited about that. Talk a little bit about Sue Bell here on her bio. Sue Bell is also known as the architect. She retired in her 30s from her career designing software for the U.S. military, and I'm being very brief here because it goes a lot deeper than that. She came back out of retirement in order to mastermind the programming behind our original tool, themezoom.com, later Kraken, and now Domain Web Studio, and everything else that you will learn about in this presentation. And then there is myself as well. I'm a co-inventor and partner in the company. I am now pretty much called the neuro marketer. I focus on conversion and persuasion and compelling copy and attractive design. That's my main focus. So that's a little bit about me. But let's just jump right into this. Sue, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to be guiding people visually using pointers and other kind of squiggly things and fun stuff. So you just tell me how you want to start.
All right, thank you, Russell. So let's start up in the upper left-hand corner with the start.
Okay, start from the very beginning.
Start from the very beginning. Okay. So the idea with this process map, a lot of people have asked us, with all of the different courses in the members area, how everything fits together and what they should do first. And because there is a lot of information, because there are deeper aspects that you can go into pretty much any area during the entire process, we put this together. The PDF version is actually clickable and will take you to the appropriate area in the members area. So the first thing you want to ask yourself as you start down the path of building an online empire is, what the heck are you selling? And we have a Google Doc that will help you wrap your head around that. It asks you about your individual products, asks you about your competitors, it asks you about your business, and by the time you're done fleshing that document out, you have a solid idea about what it is you're selling. If you don't know what it is you're selling, then all you're going to be doing is spinning your wheels, looking for opportunities and trying to mesh things up. And it's not that that's not fun, right. But if you want to actually get from start to domination, right, you gotta settle on a product.
But it is funny. We have really dealt with that for years and years, haven't we, Sue?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just amazing. Even Kraken, which is, how shall I say it without sounding terrible? I don't know, God's gift to keyword research, pretty much. I mean, it is the ultimate. I mean, it's, geez Louise. But even if you don't know your product when you're doing that, it affects even your outcome with that, right? Would you say that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Because you don't know what it is that you're actually trying to accomplish.
Right.
So when you know what it is you're selling, that firmly anchors everything else that we're going to do after that. So we proceed from this idea of what the heck are you selling to how does what you're selling provide a solution in the market or in the industry.
Which we ended up calling the ISDNA from our original terms.
Exactly.
Industry Innovation Solution. Probably one of the most powerful foundational ideas that we have, right?
Yep.
Because that's like the first 2 days of certification.
Yep.
People don't even realize their invention. And they get caught up in this idea of the unique selling position, which is true. But how can you know your unique selling position if you don't know what pain you've actually really solved for people?
Exactly. And so as you talk about pain, that brings us to the third block, which is Pain Finder. So
okay, hang on a second. Guys, sorry, Sue. The solution in your industry, what Sue was saying is that I want to make sure that you guys know we cover all this when you sign up as a member, which I'm sure you'll do after this presentation. Here's the phase one, and Sue gets into all this stuff, and I have some writing in here as well. We cover everything on this. Okay, go ahead in the next one, Sue.
Okay, so the first three blocks actually work synergistically together. Okay, Pain Finder is an application that you can go, you put in your top level keywords. It doesn't work with long tails, but you put in those top level keywords and it'll bring you back what your market is talking about, what the pains are, what the frustrations are, and it'll give you several things. It'll give you what the verbiage that your market is actually using, the keywords that they're using, not the keywords that you use, not the keywords that the manufacturer uses, but the keyword that your market's actually using to talk about your problem, these problems and the solutions. So you're going to get more keywords there. You're going to understand what their pains are. This takes you back to looking at what it is you're selling, maybe adjusting your USP, figuring out how your solution, how your products and your solutions are going to fit all together.
And Sue, I have the screen up right now on Pain Finder. It also gives a number of views
Yes.
for a question on Quora, which
Yes.
you guys, you can get traffic in like 20 minutes after using it.
Absolutely.
So
So
stupid. It was like,
it gives you views and it gives you followers. And so if you put in an answer, all of those people who are followers get pinged in an email and say, you know, there's been activity on this thread. So yeah, the people who are interested in those topics, they're right there. They're sitting on the edge of their seat.
all right.
Okay.
We got that.
So now you've come to this point where you're making a decision. Is this a market or is this a niche?
Uh-huh.
All right, so typically you can use the numbers of competing pages to kind of give you an idea whether or not it's a market or niche. If you look at what you've decided is your primary keyword coming out of these top three blocks, if you've got, I don't know, under 1 million, you're definitely talking a niche. If you've got over 10 million, you're definitely talking more in the market genre. And
Okay.
in between,
So let me ask you this, Sue. We cover all that in the members area, like the specifics in our advanced training. But so on your chart, if I'm a niche, I'll follow the process map to the right, and this chart is clickable, which leads to the software, the appropriate education. I mean, so there's no way you're going to get lost in the forest of the trees because we have every single thing covered, and you can click on the chart and it takes you there, right?
right.
So do you think is it okay with you if we go ahead and take the process of a niche, take that detour?
Sure.
Or how did you want to do it? Did you want to do niche?
I was going to sally forward down the niche because it's pretty quick and then come back and just talk briefly about the market domination route.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so if you're going to do niches, obviously, well, I won't say obviously, but TLKT is a great tool to use for niches. It brings back, you're not, like the market's just not big enough to need to analyze the market. So you're going to find your keywords, you're going to drill into the keywords that were represented and that you found in the first three blocks. And you're going to throw those into Domain Web Studio. Domain Web Studio is going to tell you what's hot, what's not. You might come back and do a few more drills. If you've got local, that's the next blue block, deciding whether or not you're local, then if you're local, then you add local modifiers to your keywords and throw those into Domain Web Studio. Local, the reason why I'll start with the national keywords so that I have a feel for what keywords it is that are profitable. And then I add the local modifiers after the fact because normally there's not a lot of traffic. Oftentimes Google doesn't give you back anything for the keywords with the local modifiers on it.
All right.
So you get a feel for the keywords, you add your local modifiers, you import into Domain Web Studio.
Slow down, Mrs. Caffeine. Okay, so hang on a second. All right, so everybody's looking at this. Question for you real quick. The last keyword tool,
Yeah.
obviously is something they can buy separate. Pain Finder is something, occasionally we have sales where they can do it separately, but if they can come in at a certain membership level, so all the tools that are required to pull this entire chart off you've shown can be purchased in one bundle, right? We'll get into that later, but I'm just clarifying with you because those kinds of questions come in.
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so what I have on the chart here, Sue, is keyword research, then I've got the arrows to local marketing, and then add modifiers. So continue.
Right. All right. So that's pretty much the niche direction.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to come back now and do the market direction. If you're looking at a market, you need to have a better understanding of who your competitors are, what they're doing, what they're attacking, what pains they haven't even bothered to address because they haven't, most of them don't do any of the pain finder type looking into what their customers actually want and need. And so you're going to have a real advantage there. So now I usually have Painfinder in one hand and Kraken in the other
Yep.
hand. Right? And those two tools used in conjunction with each other is just totally
And
kick
I want to
ass.
insert something here, Sue. Um, as Sue described, if you go to a niche, you can drill niches in Painfinder before you take it to Kraken. What's also cool is you can also drill vertical themes and find niches within those themes on Painfinder. So between Kraken does that just out, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's so
Exactly.
cool.
So as you're drilling into Kraken, you're going to find tangent concepts. And anything that looks interesting, I'd take back to Painfinder and throw it in
Yep.
there and see what the market's
So
talking about, right?
so you go Kraken, Pain, especially if you've got Kraken, use Kraken first, you guys, and then go to Painfinder after that, because then you know where the money is. You might as well find the questions surrounding the money, because Kraken shows you, the millions or sometimes even billions of dollars tied to a vertical, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
It tends to be a serious back and forth.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's not when you're in a niche, you're in a niche. There's only so many ideas, there's only so many panes. You're not back and forth nearly so much.
Okay.
Okay, so you've at this point you've discovered your best market opportunities, and you take those ideas, you take those drills, and you import those into Domain Web Studio. So now, no matter which
Okay.
way we've gone, we're at the import keywords into Domain Web Studio block.
Okay, so now we're over the Domain of Studio block. Let me just circle that for everyone. Okay, so but this time let's just quickly. I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know, because it's a mind-blowing amount of enterprise-level softwares that we're all tying together here. So Domain Web Studio is available, and we have the step 4 in the keyword DNA, the phase 2 area. Sue and I have covered very, very well in there, and we teach you all about Domain Web Studio. And we have a lot of webinars, many of them free, that you can watch on this application. There's nothing been done like it, and just a little bit of quick insight is it allows you to build an interface with a plugin we give you, so that you can build a perfect website silo architecture structure for your blogs that helps you rank higher for up to 90% fewer inbound links than your competition, just because you built it correctly. All right, go ahead, Sue.
Okay, so the cool thing about Domain Web Studio right at this point is you put in your business rules. So like you put in how much money you actually make off of a sale. You put in what you anticipate your traffic conversion off of Google is going to be. You put in what you estimate the conversion once they get on your site is going to be. And then Domain Web Studio looks at the traffic on those keywords. It looks at the number of competing pages. You also put in the page rank for your theme, and it does some mean calculations. And it's going to come back and tell you which keywords are going to be the most profitable for you.
Right.
So
And that's how you determine your parent theme, essentially, right?
exactly, which is the next block, right? So you're going to determine the parent theme, the main concept for each one of your pages. And you're going to start with your silos. And what I normally do is I decide what my silos are based on the drills that I've already done. And then if I don't have a drill for each one of those silos specifically, I'll go back to either TLKT or Kraken and drill out each one of those silos so that I have plenty of keywords for the pages that need to come underneath those.
Okay.
Okay, so at that point, I've got a drill for each one of my silos. I import those one at a time, and I select all my keywords for all of the pages underneath that, and I select the next block is synonyms and supporting keywords for each one of these pages, because what that does is it gives you a wide diversity of your inbound link portfolio for each one of the pages, which means it's a panda buster, right?
Right,
Because
totally.
one of the things that Panda looks at is, are there 5,432 inbound links, all with the same money term?
What?
And and so what we recommend is you've got someplace between 3 and 7 keywords between each page, and so then you're mixing that up, right?
I use click here.
Yeah.
I joke
You're
around.
the person that's ranked for click here.
I joke around with Sue because she hates it when people use click here. 'Cause
Oh
that's
my
the,
goodness!
That's the latest internet marketing buzz.
Use something that's meaningful to the page. Like it
Yes.
doesn't have to have cost and traffic. It doesn't have to be a high TSM.
No, Sue. I talked to Matt Cutts at the opening
Don't
conversation,
start.
and he says click here has been given extra magical SEO value. I'm sorry, smack. She's gonna smack me next time I'm over
I
there.
am.
Okay. All right. Go
All right.
ahead.
Okay. So that's the idea behind the synonyms and the supporting keywords. So now we move on to the next block, which is, okay, we're here. You've got your blueprint all fleshed out, right? You've got the skeleton for your website or for your blog. You've got all the pages. You've got all the supporting keywords. And now you're going to make a decision.
Yeah. So
You're
which way do we go? I'm
either going to
nervous.
do your blog, or you're going to do your website, or you're going to do both,
Well,
right?
okay, okay, but tell us, all right, because you're like a super brain, but tell us, like, this is the position that when I'm talking to clients and our students, that I find the most trepidation. So give us some rules of thumb, some heuristics about whether you do both or one or the other. Just like a quick. I can help with this, by the way, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
so a lot of people, they just want to have one site.
Hmm.
They don't have a lot of time. It's a small little niche. Maybe it's a mom and pop store.
That's the main thing I wanted you to bring up because we've already given the answer to that because you got the market path above this and the niche. It's beautiful how you did that. Because if I've got a niche, I have a lot of people that are just like I got 3 clients right now. They just need a blog right now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the like if you can only do one, do a blog.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And if you're a brand or if you've got a lot of how do I want to say this? Like that there's
Money.
yeah, it's going to cost more money for
Yeah.
sure. But there's also I don't know, there's an additional like reputation that you get if you've got a couple of sites. You got your website and then you got your blog. Your blog is more like news, your website is more like evergreen material, right? So you
Right.
can combine both of those ideas into a blog, especially with our blog plugin.
Hmm.
But if you've got the time and the energy and you want to do both, then you do both. So let's start with a blog path.
Okay, we'll go to the blog path. Let me just get rid of this. Hang on.
All right.
Okay, we're going to the blog path. We're ready.
So the first thing you're going to do if you're going to create a website too, then what I do is I just take the upper echelon areas of the blog
Hmm.
and turn those on for export and export them so that it creates the structure in my blog.
I'm not following you. Upper echelons, what, of the hierarchy?
Like,
Like
like, yeah,
pages?
yeah, like the silo landing pages.
Okay.
I'll take that first level and just turn that on,
Okay.
just so that it creates the appropriate pages and categories for me and it gets me started.
Gotcha.
And then I can blog underneath that. If this is going to be my one and only site, then I'm going to set everything to export and push the whole thing out to my
You're
blog.
talking about from Domain Web Studio, which we covered
Yep,
up here,
yep,
to right. Okay, guys, and gals, we have plenty of webinars on this. Please, that's not the purpose of this. Is to not get too granular, but just trust us. It's really, really cool. We did a webinar today where Sue showed on bolt-on silos how to put a silo on an existing blog.
yep,
How I learned something today where you can actually use the same blueprint for a blog as you do for a website and mirror them. So we got a whole bunch of options for
yep,
you. You're going to love it, and it's incredibly powerful and incredibly fast.
yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to create a blog. Obviously, the first thing you got to do is actually create the blog, add the theme, add whatever plugins you're going to use, and that would include the DWS Silo Builder plugin. Okay, and then you import the silo pages from Domain Web Studio. And remember, these blocks are all clickable, so they're going to go right smack to all the instruction pages.
Yep.
It's thumbnail here, but we get into all that detail there.
So you
And
can
then
just import directly into a blog environment, WordPress environment, using DWS with the plugin that we.
it takes seconds.
It's so awesome. Okay.
All right. And then you're going to add videos to your website or to your blog.
Hmm.
And Russ has done this whole really great course on how to incorporate videos into your silo structure for the best effect.
Yeah, it's called Video Website Silo Architecture. And really, in a nutshell, in 5 seconds or less, just make sure that you put videos in your silo landing page to let people know what the heck's going on, what you're selling. Ties back into this at the top, like what the heck are you selling.
Exactly.
And do videos and let them lead, and then drive all the traffic to those compelling pages for action. Works
Exactly.
beautifully. Okay, cool.
So now we get back into a place where if you've got DWS Pro, like the stuff that we were doing at the top, you can do all that in DWS Lite. But if you've got DWS Pro, then it'll help with the next 2 steps. And this is where you set up all of your branding, your core third-party platforms like YouTube, Google, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Scoop It.
Yep.
You set up all of that. You can outsource the setting up of all of that. Domain Web Studio will hold all of your account information for you. And it'll also give you a cornucopia of other third-party platforms that we recommend. That
Yeah.
stuff is changing all of the time.
And I want to slow you down a second, Sue, because people are coming in that have never seen this before. You guys, nothing like Domain Web Studio by itself exists. When you put Kraken and TLKT, what we showed you in the early process together, it's like from a different planet. And so,
It's insane.
like what we're really talking to you about here is that you, inside Domain Web Studio, you can keep your accounts, you can keep your blogs, you can add stuff in the future, you can keep the data, you can build multiple blogs, you can change it around, but you can build an empire. This is a WordPress and even HTML, and we're interfacing with a lot of different apps like several other kinds of content management services. There's just nothing like it where you can have a hierarchical top-down blueprint instantly creating your blog, and then you just fill in the content and other things, and you get the whole website side of the architecture effect.
Right.
Those two.
Okay, so then the next step is you want to publish a couple of blogs. You want to do a couple of videos and put them up to YouTube, and you want to publish a couple of blog posts. And this just puts stuff in your feed, okay, so that your feed's not empty.
We call this, folks, I'll write this here, frequency of publish. Okay, so in other words, you want to start, like Sue is saying, get your broadcasting. Posts are really about, and videos are really about your broadcasting state of mind. So oops, fob. I spelled it wrong. In other words, you got to start moving the energy of your content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you just want a couple of things in your feed, and then you can perform your one feed process, which is going to take your feed and disseminate it everywhere.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, you don't want to go until your one feed set up. You really don't want to go hog wild in the frequency of publish.
Right, but if your feed is empty, then oftentimes your feed gets rejected.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So, folks, I did jump the gun there. Sue's right. So, when the blog's up, get a couple of items in your feed just so your feed is there. The XML is initiated, and then then you get your one feed set up, which we have a whole course on this, and we have a done for you product on that.
Yep.
So you can either have us do it for you, or we can teach you bolts, the nuts and bolts of how to set it up. It's very, very cool.
Yep. Okay. So then the next block is to set up Twitter feed, and this is going to allow your feed to go to both Facebook and Twitter,
right.
both your blog feed and your YouTube feeds. Okay.
Right. And it's beautiful. I mean, guys, when this thing is set up properly, I mean, what's happening? I just got to pause you here, Sue. Hang on. When this is happening, the way she's describing it is this nice glittery, socially activated one web thing, which is kind of the pretty zoomed out version of what you're building. All this glittering thing here is automated.
Exactly.
Sorry, I just get so excited I can almost, what. Okay, so
all right.
Go ahead. Let me get back to the chart. Hang on.
Okay.
I can't keep up with you the last couple of days. You're really starting to scare me.
Too much coffee.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So go ahead. So there's the one feed, and where are we now?
Yep. So now we're on the next. We're 2 blocks later at the top of the
Twitter,
the 3
Twitter
that
feed?
go down. We just did Twitter feed with Facebook
now
and
we go up
YouTube.
up to the curve to the right.
Yep.
Okay. What's that?
And from here on out, this is the frequency of publish you were talking about earlier. So from here on out, you want to publish at least twice a week.
That's the FOP. Okay, I'll write that here.
Yeah, and at least one of those should have a video in it.
Absolutely. In fact, don't get me started. Okay.
No.
You can take our courses on that. Sue will shut me up on that. I'm sorry, guys. Before I wrote FOB, F-O-B, probably just because I haven't had enough coffee, but I meant FOB, frequency of publish. That's where she's talking about your that's where what Sue and I call your personal brand broadcasting network gets initiated.
Yeah.
So when a lot of you have seen that video I created last year on personal brand broadcasting, that's what we're talking about here. When you get your kind of transponder set up, so there's Sue, like at least a couple of blog posts going out per week.
Yep.
And we can, by the way, you can hire us to do that as well if you're too lazy. We have a done for you product.
Yes.
But also, you really should learn to also toot your own horn at least once a week on that stuff. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, so I want to just back up for a second, because what we've done here with this blog so far, when you use our blog plugin, it creates static pages, and then it's got the ability for you to put posts underneath those static pages. So it creates like a 2-layer effect. You've got categories and static pages, and they mirror each other. So then as you create a post in one of your categories, it's going to show up on the appropriate static page. So this is what's so powerful about that plugin, is that it's combining that newsy effect of having posts come through on a regular basis and change the content on your static page, while still having a static page, which Google looks at very very lovingly, because it's more like an HTML page.
I just got to stop you there, because that's It's the one thing that I just can't seem to convey as well as you do. So, folks, pages get ranked better in general, especially and they're targeting because the link flow, what we call buoyant page rank, is happening. And then the plugin that we have, the WordPress plugin, which is well thought out because you spent like super mad genius scientist time inside Domain Web Studio knowing where all the money is. It floats upward, your page is static, and then those posts that get connected automatically are supporting that page, and your static pages also have what we call frequency dynamic content density,
Exactly.
which is DCD. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I just had to toot that horn. It's
Right.
just really crazy, actually, because it's
It is.
hard.
It's
It's so
completely
hard to
crazy.
do manually. Oh
Yep.
man, just guys, forget about it. Forget about it. All right, go ahead.
All right. So you're creating a post or two a week, and this is providing new content on your static pages, and you're doing a blog boost every time you publish anything. And what the blog boost does is it creates someplace between 400 and 600 inbound links to each and every post. So and then those posts are embedded on your static pages, and it just makes for a really, really juicy environment
So that lower right-hand
on your
corner.
blog. You get
Oh, we cut out. That you're on the lower right-hand corner, right? Far corner. Where are you right now?
Yeah, I was on the block right above it. Perform a blog
Ah,
boost.
thank you. So just again, folks, that is, you'll have this chart in your hands. Go ahead when we're done and click around. If you click on these boxes, you'll see the done for you, and I don't think we have a course yet. Oh, actually, we sort of have a course on the blog boost called the 5 iframe punch or the rapid fire curation system. You can glean a lot from that, but it's still not as cool as the full-on boosting. So go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, the sales page actually for the boost gives the whole thing away. Like you can
Oh,
look
let's
at
go.
that
We'll
and
go over there
see.
right now. Hang on.
Okay, you can look at that and see all of the different things that we do, and
Yeah. She just decided one morning
and
I woke
it's
up
pretty
and
straightforward.
one morning
Yeah.
we had woke up and she'd given away our whole plan. Okay, so here it is. So these are all the platforms that we go to. We can do it for you, or again, like I said, we do not have a full-on course about how to do this. We have one similar called the Rapid Fire Curation course, which you can also purchase, and all members get it, by the way. Hint, hint. So you need to go ahead and just join our membership site. But I just want to say here that this is what Sue's talking about.
Yeah.
Here's where it reveals our entire blog boost process. And guys, this works. It's so incredibly cool. Okay, going back.
Okay, so now in addition to doing the blog boosts, inside of Domain Web Studio, we have a promotion and syndication module. And there's aspects of that promotion and syndication module that tell you what to do for each one of your keywords. This just makes sure that you get keyword diversity across, so that your more competitive keywords you do a little bit more effort for than the less competitive keywords. And also in Domain Web Studio, when you get back to promotion and syndication, you can look at how much it's going to cost you in terms of manpower and in terms of if you ascribe a cost to each one of those kinds of inbound links, then it's going to say, it'll show you how much each keyword costs, and you can decide which keywords you want to turn on to promote right now. So then once you've decided which keywords you want to turn on, it gives you a blow by blow, week by week, do this to this keyword, do that to that keyword, you need a video over here, you need an article over there, and it'll tell you everything that you need to do. So that's what this bottom right hand block is about.
It's insane. It should never have been released to the public. Okay, so what's after that?
So then the next thing is, this is the five iframe punch that we were talking about. When
Yeah.
possible. Okay, so
Yeah.
as part of the stuff that you're doing for Domain Web Studio's promotion and syndication module, you can use the five iframe punch to actually make things a whole lot faster. So this is a quick way to curate and get a jump start on the promotions.
Yep, and we're not making these we're not making these mutually exclusive, you guys. The
No.
bottom line is that one of the things within the 5 iframe punch, also called the rapid fire curation method, is that you might embed a storify story or a curated article from somewhere else inside your blog post. So that really makes it a blog post anyways.
Exactly.
And it really does entitle it for a blog boost. So you'll have to decide your own financial parameters and time constraints. I mean, if we had our way, we would just be, posting all the time. We'd have our outsourcing team just posting blog posts all the time. But there's time constraints, and you want quality content. So that's why you need to take both of those courses when you come in as a member, and we show you exactly how to determine what you should be doing.
So up at the top, when we took that turn to the right, where it says from here on out, publish a minimum of 2 blog posts a week,
right up
at
there.
least one with a video. Yeah. So because especially smaller companies look at that and just go, "Oh my goodness gracious, I don't have time to do
Oh, you
that."
did put a minimum. That's good. I didn't notice. That
Yeah.
slid by me.
So the five iframe punch helps to make that minimum a whole lot
Much
more
more doable. In
digestible.
fact, a
Yeah.
lot of people after taking the 5 a.m. punch, like the rapid fire curation course, like one of my clients, she just can't get enough of it. I have actually had to tell her to tone down a little bit and focus on some evergreen content.
Right.
All right, cool. All right, so
Okay.
then where do we go from here?
So then the next block, we're talking about adding a blog feed to. So this is actually a thing that's coming up. Like this is our next evil piece of software. You're going to take your blog feed, you're going to put it into this thing that we call a shredder. The shredder's going to talk to Twitter accounts, and it's going to take your content and just put it everywhere all the time right now. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, because we are in the middle of it. We've been designing it and waiting for. There's several things that have happened as Twitter changed its parameters. We have it all designed. We're working on it, and it's really, really cool. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say a little bit more. It chops up your content in neural marketing size snippets that are already compelling. Because, folks, if you have followed our perpetual downstream traffic system and our stackable system called the perpetual lead magnet machine, then all of your content, your painkiller ideas, your inventions, your solutions, your products, your services, they have been stacked in a way that it makes it incredibly easy to take any sentence out of your articles and have that sentence be incredibly compelling, even when it's shot out as 147 characters on Twitter.
Exactly.
That's why we're going to shred them up, and that's all I can say
Yep.
about it. Next
Okay.
item.
All right. So when you were back in the early stages of creating your blog, one of the things that you were told to do was turn on analytics. And so this is the point where that becomes really important.
Yes.
You're going to inspect your analytics, and also when you do the promotion and syndication in Domain Web Studio, it actually gives you a URL string with UTM codes in it so that you can track where your traffic is coming from. And so this is where all of that stuff becomes incredibly important. You can look in your analytics, you can see your UTM codes, you can see exactly which keywords and exactly which platforms
Yep.
are the important ones for what it is that you're doing. And so this allows you to hone what it is, where it is that you're spending your money and your time, right?
That's right.
If this platform isn't bringing you any traffic, then abandon it. Pick up a different one.
Hey.
Like, I'm sorry.
No, but good news for members. And if you're not a member, this is one of the many, many reasons you need to become one. We have a course coming out on analytics,
Yeah.
which Sue has approved and helped. There's a lot of ways you can go wrong during analytics and call to action and action funnels. We're covering that for all of you guys. I actually have to take this course because I'm always improving my analytics. And so this is one of a dozen courses you get when you come in, even as a basic member.
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep in mind that everything we give you inside the membership area fits together
All
like an
ties together.
incredibly powerful, not merely some kind of internet marketing machine. We're talking about online domination. And even if you have a mid-sized business or even a small business, you want to start preparing yourself for this because what you see here is pretty much the ultimate personal brand broadcasting system. If you were to view the web as a broadcasting network for your brand as well as for your keyword rankings, put all that together, and this is what you have with our machinery here.
Yep.
Okay. What's that
All right.
What's that last thingy?
Well, we should go back up and do the websites before we get to the last thingy.
Okay. Then,
All right.
What do you mean go back
So-
up where?
So you remember that last blue
Oh, we never even went that way.
diamond?
You took us the direction of where? The blog? This is
Yeah.
like a board game.
It is. So now we're going to move back
Better
to
than Candy.
get out of jail free.
Okay. So this time we're going to go the website direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you're building your website. Now what Domain Web Studio Pro can help you do is organize your team to add content to your website. You can actually do all of that inside of Domain Web Studio. And then when you hit the publish button, it publishes everything all together.
Wow.
So you can create the entire page if you want to, or you can just add the content. So you can add graphics and calls to action and the whole 9 yards. It's a WYSIWYG editor. Or you can just add the content and then tweak it once you get it on your site. Okay, so then the next thing is you're going to publish your site. I want to remind everybody to add microformatting to their website. I have not come across a website that cannot benefit from microformatting. You've either got your hours, if you're a local business, if you're not, you've got G-star ratings, and you've got product names, and you've got product prices. Like everybody's, obviously, you've got something that you're selling because we decided that in block number 2. So you can
Right.
add that information, that microformatting information around what it is you're selling so that more juicy information shows up in the search results.
Yep, and please note that Sue has made it really clear here that this is DWS Pro only, where you're going to need DWS Pro to do the things that we just described here in an effective interfaced way.
Yep, you can still do it all by hand. It
Oh,
just, I
sure.
mean, if you're working with light, you can do it all by
Yeah,
hand.
that's what
It's
you're
just
trying.
you can't. Yeah, you get additional functionality in Pro by being able to utilize the team aspects of it and actually
Yeah.
put content into Domain Web Studio. The cool thing about putting the content into Domain Web Studio is that when you get to the promotion and syndication, your outsourcing team can actually reference back, or you, if you're doing it yourself, you can reference back to the original content that you're linking to. So you can create that tie so that when somebody's reading something on a third-party platform and they follow the link back, there's not a disconnect. So that's one of
Amazing.
my yeah, that's one of my favorite things about that. All right, so we added microformatting to your website.
I got to slow you down for a second, folks. Don't worry about the micro formatting. We will give you an excerpt on that. We have some on
You
our
click,
wiki.
yeah, you just click on it, and it goes right smack to the microformatting page.
Okay, let me just double check. Okay, the reason I didn't do that is because I wasn't even sliding up all the way. So here's the micro format. Let's just hang on a
Okay.
second, Sue. Here's the micro formatting thing right after publish website, and it's obviously important to her because she's added an entire.
It's an entire page in local. Now, it's especially important for local.
Yep.
However, if you're not local, I've got the links in there that take you to the global references from Google and from W3C. And so
Okay.
you can go and find all the information
Right.
there about non-local
Yep. So
stuff.
in the members area, folks, it's right here on Tactic 5. Okay, she added this fairly recently. Good stuff. We use microformatting all the time, especially there isn't any reason you shouldn't have GD star ratings on your video sites and other things that we teach advanced members. So just go for it. Okay, what's next, Sue?
All right, so then if you're local based, you want to add Google Maps and all of that
Ah,
kind of good stuff. This takes you back to another area in the membership area. And I would just, if you're local, I would just read around in that entire section on local.
yes. And I also want to add that we do have several local features. So here's the members area on local on add a Google map. Is this inside your search?
Yeah, local search.
Local search
Domination.
Empire? Okay.
Yeah.
Local search, okay. We also have local leads Empire course, which is for the more serious among you, where maybe you're starting to get really big in what it is that you do. Like maybe have a call center or something like that. Okay,
Right.
so next.
Okay, so then now here's the thing. If you're a member, once a month we have membership phone calls, and we're happy to review your site. Doesn't matter if it's a blog or a website. I put it up in the website area.
Yep.
But you got your site live. Like, get on the next members call and shoot it to us, and we're happy to critique it for you.
Yep. All you have to do is be there on the first Tuesday. Is this Tuesday?
Yep, first Tuesday of every month.
First Tuesday of every month. And here's the page right here. You guys can see that.
Yep.
And be there or be square because people have said, "Holy crap!" That's one of the many things they've said. Okay, so that's there. All
Great
right.
quote.
Okay.
All right.
I quote testimonial. Holy crap! Unquote. All right. So
All right,
what's
so
down
the
here?
next
Now you're taking us back into the DWS Pro only
Yep.
box. What are you doing to us?
Yep. All right. So this is promotion and syndication activities.
Uh-huh.
So there's more promotion and syndication activities for your website than there is for your blog because the blog you're doing blog posts and you're doing blog boosts. So there's only certain aspects in promotion and syndication that are actually relevant to the blog, but there's heaps of them that are relevant to the website. So this is a whole other set of activities. You can outsource that in DWS Pro, or you can roll up your sleeves and do it all yourself. And so moving on from that,
How did I get back to the beginning of this whole chart?
oh, well, that's the cool thing. Okay, you're going to check analytics. You're going to watch for new converting terms that hasn't, like, something just came out of the blue,
And then
and
you just do the
and you
paint
actually,
finder all over
and
again.
yeah,
Yep, that's beautiful.
all right.
So that's the ellipse. I'm going to put a circle around that. So the
So
whole thing. So what you're saying is the whole thing is iterative and recursive, meaning it's circular. It happens over and over again, and it's the perpetual. It's not merely and only the perpetual keyword machine we were talking about years ago. This is the perpetual money machine. I mean,
exactly.
this is like the perpetual questions, pain solving, traffic generating, you name it, and it's cyclic, it's sustainable, it's iterative, it's recursive.
Exactly.
Got it.
Can you bring back up the web rings again for a second?
Sure.
So I want to point out that what we've covered so far is the WR1 and the WRS1 rings only.
WR1. I'm doing an arrow. So WRS1. Okay.
Okay? You'll see that there's 4 more rings after that. And those 4 rings,
There's WR2, WRS2, WR3, and WRS3.
those rings are what we cover in the orange, that orange blob in the
So if
bottom
we go down to the bottom
left-hand side.
here,
Yeah.
and then you're kind of like laughing at us and saying, now that you've done all that,
Now, if you really want to dominate your market,
yeah. And what's really cool, I want to emphasize here, all kidding aside, folks, when you have this stuff done, it's the other stuff is honestly pretty trivial. I mean,
it's easy.
it's
Yeah.
so easy. I mean, Sue's been setting up this week. I've been setting it up with clients. Once you have this, everything's, think about what's happened when you've gone through this entire process, okay, that we've shown you here.
Yeah.
What's happened is you've got everything clearly organized. You have all your social profiles, your keywords, your DNA, your synonyms, what Sue calls your EPA keyword DNA. That's all the possible variations of keywords that might even remotely make you money based on topics and killer solutions. Okay, and we talk about that. You've already created all these lists, and because you have them so well organized, it just becomes easy to be iterative. Iterative just means sustainable, okay, cyclical, recursive, meaning around and around. So once you have all this stuff, this is where the real content's been done. And when we have the shredder and everything else that we're talking about, in fact, that shredder is going to automatically feed all these other layers out here, WR2, W3. And for now, we show you via the one feed and other things to set those up as well. So a lot of it's automated, with the exception of the platform setup. But my point is that it's not hard. You can do it.
And I also want to say that what's on this screen here, the flowchart that we've got right here, this blueprint is all you need to dominate a niche.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going after legal terms, or if you're going after real estate, or if you're going after anything that's above a PR4, some PR4s and everything that's above a PR4, then you're in a market.
Correct.
And you need to do a little bit more than what we've got here on this diagram. This diagram is still the first layer. You have to get this up before you can go hit the others, okay?
But not for 90% of you watching this,
yeah,
if you
that's
do
all
what
you
we're
need.
describing here,
Yeah.
there is unless there are students, they have not done this. You can't. In fact, when you have this education, you can just disregard competitive thinking in any guise that you've ever thought about it before.
Yep.
Because it's just not going to happen. You're going to be so far above and beyond the integrative processes and iterative processes of logical stacking of your business, profitability, your KPI, and your dissemination of your brand, that you don't need to really worry about competition. Competition becomes more of an outmoded modality, and what you become instead is you dedicate the time that you've been worrying about competition to extending your vision, your brand, your company values, and your personal brand broadcasting network.
Exactly.
That's all we really have to say. Okay, so well, we've been doing this about 44 minutes exactly. So I think we're going to go ahead and stop it here because we could go on for hours. Folks, if whatever level you're interested in learning this, we've got a course for you. If it's basic and you're not rich yet, you want to join networkempire.com. Just go to the networkempirebasic.com and you can sign up as a minimum member, and you don't have to have all the software at once. You can learn at your own pace. Some people are using our area to go to night school, where they read 2 or 3 chapters a night. They go through it, they get on the help desk, they go to various places, then they might pick up a piece of software. We've had students who've been with us for 5 years who now have agencies that they're operating, and they started out as work-at-home moms or dads, and they just know their stuff. They're no longer internet marketers, they're experts. They're pros on brand building. It's a real thing. So we want to suggest that to you. However, we have packages all the way up to the corporation or the large business and a CEO and or IT department, SEO department, marketing department. We have live certification events which we schedule on demand. And those are our more expensive events where we walk you through. Sue literally pulls out her assortment of whips and chains, and we make sure,
Literally.
yeah, and we make sure that all kidding aside, it has been described, if you view our testimonials on the page at networkempire.com, you'll see that this has been described as the Harvard Business School of online marketing and branding. There's a reason for that. Your life will never be the same. I know that's kind of cliche, but I'm always proud to be able to say that it's actually true. So join us for whatever you'd like to, and if you have any questions, please contact us at the help desk, and or actually product questions, you can contact me on ThemeZoom. Be sure when you contact me on ThemeZoom,
On Skype.
I'm sorry, contact me on Skype, make sure that you ask an actual product question. I only have people join me on Skype if they are Network Empire members. And so these, I will answer product questions, but you need to let me know right when you're trying to contact me that it's a product question. Okay? So Sue, thank you so much for creating this. We've been working on this for a
My
long
pleasure.
time. This is fantastic, and I know that hundreds of our students are seeing the vision of
Yep.
this on a linear process, not
Yep.
just that pretty glittery map of all the rings, right? It's a nice idea and it's a beautiful, piece of art, and
Right.
it's a very powerful system. But this is the how-to and the
Exactly.
which order of which softwares you do it with.
Yep.
All right, folks.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.